Morning.
Morning.
All right. Let me pull my chat window open here. All right. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend and you're all staying safe. So we are starting week 12 this week. We have just a few weeks together left. Did anybody have any questions on the assignment from last week, the business project assignment? Okay. So again, we'll go over this week's assignment. This is our database project. This is our last Excel assignment. Don't forget that you also have the Excel final exam in Gmetrics. So maybe check that off your list this week and get that done. Week 13, this is the first one here is just our Excel wrap-up discussion. So that's a pretty simple one. Just make sure that you respond to 2 of your classmates as well. And then we have the integration project. So you have about 2 weeks to do your integration project. Next week is when we'll go over that one. That should be a fun way to wrap up the class for you guys. If you do want to go ahead and complete the final reflections discussion, you can do that as well. That's in our last week, week 14. And then we also have our extra credit for 20 points. Don't forget, you can do the course evaluation, and you guys should be getting an email when that is in my FSU for you. So it's pretty easy. I'll just show you real quick. The instructions are right here. So if you're a newer student and you're not familiar with the course evaluations, you just pop into my FSU. Under the student tab, there's a course evaluation section, and then you should see that under there. I do not need to see your responses or how you answered the questions. It's totally anonymous. I can't see the results. So just upload the screenshot. Once you complete it, you'll see a screen that says, survey completed for this course or whatever. Just screenshot that, upload it like you do your Gmetrics screenshots, and then you'll get the 20 points extra credit. But again, I do not need to see your responses, so don't include those, please. All right, any questions on any of that stuff before we get started in our database project this week? Okay, I'm here if you guys need help, okay? I know it's been a strange semester. I get that, it's been strange for everybody. But I want to see you guys do well in this class. You may not think it's totally worth your time, but I assure you that you will be using these applications for the rest of your life in any job you get. So if you learn it now, it'll just make your life that much easier in the future. But I do want to see you guys be successful in the course. So if you need help on any assignment, whether it's the Word, the PowerPoint, or the Excel assignments, please reach out. That's what I'm here for. A lot of you have not been joining on Wednesday, which is fine because it's optional. But if you guys do have questions, that's a great opportunity for you to jump in and ask them. If you're not comfortable doing it in our Zoom session, send me an email or send me the assignment via email, and I can look at it and kind of guide you on where you kind of fell off the rails, and I'll get you back on track. But please, I'm here to help you guys. So if you need help, just ask. Okay, so let's get started on our database project this week. So week 12. All right, so basically here you're working for a landscaping company. You're compiling your customer information for the month of June to send out invoices for payment. And you're also compiling some information to give a presentation to your boss on how the company has done in the month of June. So first thing you need to do, download the instructions. You have some video instructions here as well, but please make sure you follow the written instructions. There are a few things that have been modified, but the video instructions provide a good conceptual learning experience for you if you're struggling with some part of the instructions. We also have an example here, and then your template is down here. So download your instructions and your template, and I already did so. Let me find my template here. All right. So our first sheet down here, you can see we have 4 worksheets in this workbook. Our first sheet is the job sheet. So in cell A1, B1 and C1, we're going to put some language in there for our job code description and our rate per hour. So to save some time here, I'm going to do a little copying and pasting from my other worksheet here, just so you guys can kind of get the feel of things and what things need to look like in your assignment. So that's 1 through 3. Step 4, we need to compile a list of at least 5 jobs that a typical landscaping company would do. So I'm just going to give you guys a couple here. And I'm going to say mowing, irrigation, trimming, fertilization, and one more, debris. Okay, so in column A here, I'm just going to give these a code. So it's going to be 1 through 5. And if you don't want to type them all out, do 1 and 2 and then grab them, and you can use your autofill handle there. And then for our rate per hour, basically you just need to come up with a realistic rate for each job. So I'm going to copy these into here. I don't care what the rate is, just make it, you know, semi-reasonable for what you think someone doing that job should be paid. If you want to research it, great. If you want to just pick a number, that's fine too. So don't forget to format. That's going to be currency, 2 decimal places. Okay, so since I copied and pasted over, some of the formatting came along with it, but make sure that you do format this with all of your borders here. And then make sure you do the headings formatted correctly as well. So I think you need to do those bold. And then we are into step 6. So we're going to center columns A and C, left align column B. I'm going to skip those. Just make sure you guys follow the formatting. Select row 1 and bold it. There's that formatting of the bold. Auto fit the column widths. All right, so remember auto fit, highlight your columns there, and then we're going to do our format, auto fit column width. All right, so now we are on step 10, and we are going to create a chart using the data from cells B2 through C6. So I am going to select that, B2 through C6, and we're going to come up here to our insert. And let's see what kind of chart we need here. Looks like we're going to do a pie chart for this one. So I'm just going to do our 2D pie. And I'm going to change the chart title to jobs. So if you just select your box here, change that to jobs. And then there's a couple other things we need to add. So we're going to come over here to our chart elements, and we're going to add our data labels. And then we're going to move the legend to the right side of the chart. And then we're going to blow up the largest section of the chart. So if you look here, 16 is the largest section of the chart I have. So When you click on this, just make sure that you're only selecting the one slice. Sometimes, like if you come in here, see how it's selected all of them, just click into that one piece. All right, and if you double click, you're actually going to get your format box over here on the right. So we are going to make the point of explosion here 10%. So you can use the arrows or you can just type in 10. And did you see what that did? It kind of popped it out, so it's a little bit easier to see what the largest section is there. Okay, so we are in step 10F of the instructions there. So we are going to move the graph over to cell A8 through D22. So we're just going to shrink it up a little bit there. All right, and then there are some formatting things in step G, selecting the data labels, changing the font size. So the data labels are here. Okay, just make sure that you change the font size, and it looks like we need to bold it. So make sure you follow those for formatting. And then step 11, we have select the cells that have the data in them and name the table to jobs table. So I'm going to come back up here to my little table, and I'm going to select A1 through C6. And then if you remember when we started naming tables in our Excel projects, you come up here to your formulas tab, and we're going to define name. And the name of this table needs to be jobs table. Okay, so that is really it for the jobs sheet. Does anybody have any questions on that one? Shout them out, or you can put them in the chat window.
I have a question.
Sure.
Can we use simply use the numbers that you use here for hours as well, or you want us to use different?
Yeah, you can. I'm fine with that. I would like to see you guys make up your own customer table information. Maybe put some different job descriptions in there, but I'm less focused on the content than you guys getting the formulas correct and presenting something that's professional looking. Getting your graphs, your charts, getting all those correct, okay? Any other questions? Okay, good question. All right, so let's move on to our customers tab. I'm just gonna close our format window over there. All right, so input your company into cell A1. Okay, you can name this your last name. You can do your first and last name. You can name it your first name. I don't really care. Again, content isn't as important to me as you getting the formulas correct and the formatting correct, okay? Really try to learn how to use Excel. It's so powerful if you can learn some of these things that you're going to use in your job. So focus on the formulas, the charts, tables, things like that. Okay, so we're going to merge and center our cells here. So A1 through M2, it looks like. Go back to my home tab. I'm going to merge and center. Okay, now there's some formatting stuff there. So just make sure that you get the formatting correct. I'm just going to copy and paste over that. So that's what it should look like once you do the formatting. And then we are going to also merge and center A3 through M3. And we are going to name this billing invoice for June 2020. Oops. All right, step 6 there, we're gonna change the fill color. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna let you guys kind of work through the formatting on your own. So step 7, fill A4 through M4 with all the pertinent information about your customers. So here you have to have at least 10 customers, okay? And then all of your headings are going to be right here in step 7, 7A. Whoops. Let me pull the instructions over here for a second. Good golly. Okay, so step 7A, so we're gonna have job number, date, first name, last name, street, city, state, zip, job code, total time, rate, total charged, and description. Okay, and then we're gonna also format those with a blue fill color too. So make sure you do that. I'm just going to copy and paste what I have in my other worksheet over to there, just so we save a little bit of time and can get through everything here. Okay, so these are what your column headings are going to look like. Okay, and there's your blue fill color as well. So column A, 10 customers. Okay, so and then if I select those, I can just drag those down till I have my 10 customers. And then for my dates and my information as far as their address, name, city, state, zip, I'm going to copy that over for you guys to see. So again, just come up with, you know, fake customers. It doesn't matter what the names are, just put something in there, okay? Okay, so job codes. So the job codes, if you can remember, relate back to our jobs tab. So we had 5 different job codes, and now we need to associate our customers with what job code we performed. So again, for the sake of time, I'm just going to copy and paste some in here. So 1 through 5, just fill these in. I don't care what they are. All of your spreadsheets are going to look differently, and that's completely fine. All right, so our next column is going to be our total time. So how much time did we spend? So again, just make these up. So if we spent 3 hours on John Smith's lawn, 1.5. All right, let me copy and paste these in here. We'll center those just to make it look all the same. Okay, so job code and total time, use whatever numbers you want. Job code, just remember, relates back to your jobs spreadsheet. So it has to be those 1 through 5 codes, okay? You can't have like a job code 6 or 7. And you'll see why here in a second. So in column K, what we're gonna do is a VLOOKUP to find the rate for this job code. So remember back here in our jobs tab, our table up here, we had our job code, our description, and then our rate. So what we need to do here is create a VLOOKUP function that's going to tell us our rate for this job code. So we're going to come up here to our formula, and we're going to do insert function, and my VLOOKUP function is right there. Remember, you can always type it in up here if you don't see it in your list down here below. All right, so our lookup value is going to be our job code column. So I'm going to select I5. And then our table array is going to be our jobs table. Remember, we named this table. So when I select that data, you'll see how the table array is actually our table name, which we named it. And then our column index number is going to be the output value. So remember, we are looking for the rate, our job rate. And if we look back at our table here, we have column A, B, and C. and our rate is in column C. So again, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. So we are going to do column 3, and we're going to click OK. All right, so now you can see our VLOOKUP formula up here. We're looking at our job code in I-5. We're going back to our jobs table on our jobs worksheet, and we're referencing column 3 because that's the rate column. All right, so once you get the VLOOKUP formula there, we can just drag it down. And you can see that this is the rate. And as you move through them, you can see up here in the formula bar that it's changing our lookup values. So this one, it's looking at column or cell I9 right here. So that's pulling in our job code 4, and it's looking for our rate for that job. Any questions on that VLOOKUP formula? Okay. So our total charge is just our simple multiplication. So we're going to just start with our equals sign, and then we are going to do our total time because we want to know our total charged for this customer. So it's our total time spent on the job times our rate for that job. Okay, and again, just grab your autofill handle and drag it down. All right, now our description is going to be our VLOOKUP formula just like we did with our rate. So let's do our insert function and our VLOOKUP again, except if you remember our description was in column 2 instead of column 3. So our lookup value is still going to be our job code. In our table array, we're going to go back to our jobs sheet, and we're going to grab our table, throws the jobs table name in there. And then remember, column A is 1, 2, C is 3. So our output number is going to be our column B or 2. All right, and then you can see our result right here is going to be mowing. Click OK. And then we will use our autofill handle there as well. Any questions on that one? Okay, so let's see where we are in the instructions here. All right, so now don't forget to do your formatting, okay? Steps 13 and 14 are formatting the columns to currency, and we're auto-fitting the column widths, okay? So make sure you hit those 2 things. And then step 15, we are going to select our cells A4 through M14, and we're gonna give it another name. A4 through M14. Going to come up here and define our name. And we are going to call this our data table mail merge. Okay, so for this one, if you wanted to create a mail merge database to send your customers invoices, this is basically what you would use. So you have your table already here with all the information you need for your mail merge. And all we're doing is creating our name for our table. Okay, so step 16, we're going to create another chart, another pie chart, and we are going to base that off the data in the last name column and total charge column. So if we come up here and select our D5 through D14, and I'm going to hold Control on my keyboard so I can select multiple ranges here. We are looking for our total charge. Now, remember, you need to just format those as your currency, okay, with 2 decimal places. Let me see here. Is that right? Yep, L5 through L14. And then I'm going to come back up here to my insert tab. I'm going to do a pie chart. A regular 2D pie is fine. Just going to drag that down a little bit so we can see our table. We are going to change our chart title to market share. Whoops. Market share. And then we are going to add our data labels. And we are going to change this to, oops, data label, select percentage. Just 1 second. Arrow, add. Okay, so we're going to add our data labels onto the, sorry, I skipped a step here, on the inside end. And then when you click on other options, you'll get your format box over here on the right. So instead of the value, we're going to change that to a percentage. Oops, percentage. All right, and then also formatting, we're going to change that color to white. So you can do that just up here on your home tab. Oops, wrong one there, text. Okay, and then changing the legend to the right side. So quite a bit of formatting here on this graph, okay? And then actually the step 16C, we're using chart style 11 here. So if I just select my chart and I go back up here to design, if you hover over these, you'll find chart 11 here somewhere. There it is. And then just make sure that you change anything back if you skip that step to you know, to get your values or your percentages, and then your legend on the right side there. All right, so again, we're going to select the largest sections of our pie here, and we're going to explode them out to 10%. So you can see that 16 is my highest, but I have 2 pieces of my pie here that are both at 16. So I'm going to select both of them, and I'm just going to select the one, hold Control on my keyboard, and then select the other one. Maybe. Oh, maybe we can't do them both at the same time. All right, so we'll do that one, and we'll just do 10% here. Then we'll come down here to the green one, another 10%. Okay, so apparently you can't do those together. All right, and then we're going to move the chart so the upper left corner is in B16, B16, and the lower right corner is in H38. So we'll just expand this a little bit. Okay, so that is it for our customers worksheet. Any questions on that one? All right. Okay, going to move on to our sales worksheet. Okay, so create an accounting spreadsheet for the services your company provides. So in our A1 through, it looks like E1, we're going to have some headings. I'm going to just copy and paste those in there for you guys. All right, so we have our job code, our services, our total hours, our rate, and our total. So again, our job code, so let's do A2. We're just going to do 1, 2, And then again, if you select those, you can pull them down. So you have your 5, or you can just type them in. Whatever you want to do is fine there. There's only 5 of them. All right, so in cell B2, I'm going to just expand that a little bit. In cell B2, we are going to use a VLOOKUP function again to find our job description. So we are going to use our job code again as our lookup value. So I'm going to come up here to our formulas tab and insert function VLOOKUP. And then our lookup value is going to be our job code, so A2. Our table array is going to be, again, our jobs table. So I'm going to go back here to our jobs tab and select that data, jobs table. And then our column index number is going to be 2 again, because our job description is in that column 2 or column B. So enter, and then it's going to pull through our service or our description. And then you can just copy that down as well. Okay, so step 11 under the sales sheet, cell C2, we're going to use a SUMIF function. So this one's a little bit different, and we do have to make sure that we use our absolute references for this function. Otherwise, it will not work appropriately. So make sure you guys check out the instructions on this one and read them thoroughly. Make sure you get those $ in there for your absolute references as well. So cell C2, we're going to use a SUMIF function to add the total number of hours. So for the range argument, we're going to come up here and we're going to do our insert function. We're going to do our SUMIF. And for our range argument, it's going to be our customers tab, and we are going to use our job codes here. So I5 through I14. We are going to use our criteria of our A2 in our jobs A2. So we can actually just use our job code here in our current spreadsheet. Let me double check that real quick. Cancel that real quick. Yeah, let's keep using our jobs table worksheet. Oh, that's for the next one. Okay, so we can use A2. All right, so SUMIF. Okay, remember our range was on our customer worksheet here. We're using I5 through I15 or I14, excuse me. Our criteria is going to be our job code here. And then our sum range is going to be, again, on our customers tab. And we are looking at our column J this time. So we want our total time. And we are doing our J5 through J14. So if I click OK, for this first cell, C2, it will give me the correct information. But if I did an autofill down the column, it would not. So what I need to do is make sure that I put in my absolute references here. And you just need to make sure that you put your $ in around your letters. All right, so then if we drag this down, it's going to grab the appropriate cells from the customer worksheet and bring those over based on the job code. All right, so then moving on to our rate here. So this is just another VLOOKUP formula. So we are going to do our VLOOKUP. And then our lookup value again is going to be our job code. So select A2, and then our table array again is going to be in our jobs table. So I will select that data. And then our column index number, if we look at our jobs table here, is going to be 3 because it's A1, B2, C3. Okay, so now we have our rate for our mowing service, and then our total function is just going to be our multiplication formula. So equals, and then our total hours times our rate for that specific service. And then don't forget that you can just drag these down. Okay. And then let's see where we are here. Step 14, so cell B7, we are going to type total. There is some formatting to do here as well, so don't forget to do that. Cell C7 and E7, we are just going to use an AutoSum function. Right, so click your AutoSum, enter. Same thing for E7, AutoSum, enter. And then remember our total and our rate columns are going to be in currency, okay? So just make sure that you format those appropriately. And then there is some fill color here as well, blue. Make sure you get the right color blue in there. Okay, auto fit the column widths, and then we're moving on to step 20. So create a pie chart using the data in the services and the totals column. So we are going to grab B2 through B6, and I'm going to hold control on my keyboard, and I'm going to grab the data in the total column here. So E2 through E6. And insert our pie chart. And it looks like we're just doing a 2D pie chart here. I'm going to change the chart title to services. All right, and then we are going to add our data labels. And again, we're going to put these on the inside end. Don't forget to change the font color to the white. And we're going to also change these to percentages like we did in the other chart. So I'm going to do my more options. Where are we here? More options, there we go. And deselect the value box there. Oops, where did it go? Ah. Oops. Okay, so make sure you select your label options. There we go. Make sure you select your percentage before you deselect the value. Otherwise, that will happen to you as well. Okay. All right, and then the last step here with this chart is we're going to blow up the largest section of the pie again. So I'm going to take my 26% piece, and I'm going to do point of explosion again to 10%, so that stands out a little bit more. And then drag this over to underneath our table there. All right, so step 21, we're also going to do a column chart. So I'm going to select that data again. services and total. Oops, sorry guys. Services and total, we're going to insert our bar chart. That's our clustered column. Yep, we want our clustered column. Just going to move that up here a little bit. And we are going to rename this, actually style, are we on style 1? Yep, we're on style 1. We're going to name this charge or charges, whatever you want. This is just going to show us our total charges here. We are going to add some access titles. All right, and we're going to change this one to our services. And this one to our charges. Okay, and then last thing on here, we're going to actually add a data table to the chart. So if you come back over here to chart elements, we are going to add our data table here, and you'll see that the actual numbers for each service will pop up underneath it. All right, so just move your chart here somewhere to the right of the pie chart, and you are good to go on your sales worksheet. Okay, any questions there? All right, so we have about 8 minutes left. We'll try and get through the employees worksheet here. We might do a little bit more copying and pasting so we can get through everything there. Okay, so for the employees sheet, we are going to create a spreadsheet displaying the information for each of our employees. You need at least 5 employees. All right, so again, your data in the instructions is all right here. So here's all of your headings. All right. Let me grab those from my other spreadsheet here. And don't forget to format those correctly. All right, so our employee number, basically just make up your information for all of your employees. So you're going to be filling in A2 through G6 right here with all of your employee information. So let me grab that information. Again, I'm just going to do an auto fit so you guys can see all that. All right, so your employee numbers here, just use, your 101, 102, 1001, 1002, whatever you want to do, that's fine. Please do not use real social security numbers, make these up. All right, so in cell 15 or steps 15, we are going to insert a realistic rate for each employee. So this is their hourly rate. So just some numbers I came up with. Again, you can use, $10 an hour, $11 an hour, $15 an hour, whatever you think that employee's wage needs to be for the hour. All right, so our total hours, we're going to do another sum if function. So in cell I2, I'm going to come up here to my formulas tab, and we're going to do sum if. And again, make sure you use your absolute references, okay? So our range argument is going to be cells I5 through I14 again from our customer sheet. Okay, so that's their job code. Our criteria is going to be the job code from the jobs tab. All right, so I'm going to come back here to my jobs tab, and I'm going to do A2. Oops, just A2. And then our sum range is going to be back on our customer's worksheet here. And we're doing our J5 through J14. Okay, so I'm going to click OK. And then remember that we need to go up and insert our absolute references. So our dollar signs go around our letters, our column letters. Whoops. That is an S, not a dollar sign. All right, let me correct that real quick. All right, looks good. So then if we drag this down, perfect. All right, so then our total wage is just going to be our multiplication again. So this is their wage per month. So their total hours is going to be the 7.5 times whatever their hourly rate was. So again, our equals their rate times however many hours they worked. Enter. All right, and then just drag that down. And then our position. For this one, all you really have to do is come back. So this is step 19. All you really have to do is go back to your jobs tab here and just copy and paste these descriptions. Okay, that's totally fine for this one. Now, remember that the formatting did come over, so make sure that you do the formatting correctly. Take the borders off there so we don't need them for this worksheet. All right, and then we're going to add some totals here as well. So in H7, I'm going to type total. And then for I7, we're just going to use our AutoSum function there. And then also for our total wage, we're going to use our AutoSum function. Okay, again, some formatting, so make sure you're filling it with the appropriate blue color, you're auto fitting, you're setting things to currency with 2 decimal places when it's currency. Step 26, we're going to create a pie chart using the data from name and total hours. So I'm going to select name and total hours. Insert pie chart, and it looks like we are going to use style 3 for this one. So style 3. And then we're going to change the chart title to employee time. In hours. All right, we're going to move the legend to the right side of the graph if it's not already there, which it is. We're also going to add our data labels to the inside end like we have been doing. All right, and then we are just going to move our chart so it starts in cell C9 and ends in H23. So shrinking that one up just a touch. Okay, 1 minute to spare. So that's really it for your database project. It will take you a little bit of time, but make sure you get all the formatting and everything in there. If you guys get stuck on your formulas, Feel free to shoot me your assignment and I can point you in the right direction. Did anybody have any questions on the assignment overall? Okay, so let's see here. Yep, so don't forget your rubric is down here at the bottom too. Let's make sure we didn't miss anything else. So again, make sure you get your database project done that we just went through, and then also your final exam for Excel. With the recent changes into the whole remote learning thing that are coming from the state, I don't know if we're going to be having open labs Monday, well, today and Wednesday. So if you do want to take a test or you have questions, I would recommend just setting up a Zoom session with me. We can go through anything that you need to go over and get some help. Wednesday will be optional. So if you do have questions, feel free to pop in on Wednesday and ask those. And then if you want to take any more of the Certiport exams, please make sure you're looking at the announcements in the course shell here and signing up, letting me know what day you would like to take it online, and I can get with the other instructors and get you registered. All right, well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I hope you all have a wonderful day and stay safe.